Hey, welcome back. This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I wanted to go into a little more detail on my new old radio. This is the Panasonic RF-4900. And I want to tell you some more details about the radio. I've adjusted the white balance on my camera so the radio should show up a little better. It's still not sharp. I don't know why the webcam is not giving me a sharp picture, but it's not. I noticed that before, on the video before, I had the resolution down to 480, and that was because when I go down to 480, I get a better zoom range, so I could get in closer. So I switched it to 720p. I moved the camera closer, and so I'm hopefully getting a little better picture. Okay, I want to talk about a couple of things about this radio. One is there's two tuning dials. This tuning dial is for AM, FM, and shortwave band 1, which is 1.6 megahertz to 3 megahertz. This one is for shortwave bands 2 through 8, which is 3 megahertz to 30 megahertz. When you change the bands with using the band selector here, the dial light will change from being on this one, being on this one. So it tells you which, it can remind you, look at this one. And I've got a bright light over here. So let me see if I put there. Now you can see that this one is got the dial light on and this one has it off right now. I'm at about 4.85 megahertz. Listen to a religious station. I don't know if it's Brother Stayer station or what. Okay. This switch here is used for selecting between AM mode and single sideband mode. This is the switch that initially gave me some problems, and still it really needs to be cleaned. When I read Ray Allen's description of his cleaning up a radio, it takes a lot of work to get the cover off. It's got a lot of screws on it to get the cover off. You have to take these sidebars off, and then there's a bunch of screws in the top and on the side, on the bottom, because the whole cover slides off. So I'm not looking forward to getting in there and cleaning that switch. I'm hoping that if I leave the radio on for a while, it'll kind of clean up itself. I've been jiggling a lot, and it seems to be working now, but occasionally when I switch between AM mode and single sideband mode, back to AM, I don't get anything on the radio. That's one thing to keep in mind when looking at these radios. That switch is a known problem. Anyway, moving on. I mentioned before that when you're using this tuning knob for shortwave 2 through 8, you can, with it pushed in, you can fast tune. So you can tune really fast. And then if you want to tune precisely, you actually fixedly pull it out. And now it's tuning real slow. So you can fine tune. So that is your course in band tuning by just pulling that in and out. What else? There's two band selectors. This chooses between FM, medium wave, the shortwave 1, and then the shortwave 2 through 8. And then when you select that, you use this one to select 2 through 8, which one of those you want. That's how that works. Antenna trimmer, as I mentioned before, this is if your antenna is not quite tuned to the frequency you're listening to. That will help a little bit. And on this particular radio, I did notice quite a bit of difference as I jumped from band to band, that I had to readjust the antenna trimmer. Good, bad, I don't know. What else? I still don't really see the purpose of this. This is the AM RF Game. which reminds me of, like on these Chinese radios, these little Chinese radio, and they have a local DX switch. Typically on shortwave, you use DX. The only time you would probably use local is that if you got a strong station and it's overloading the radio, then you can basically attenuate that signal. I typically don't use it, so I've got it turned to max, and I'll probably never change it from max, hopefully. Now, the one thing about this radio that some of your cheap Chinese radios will suffer from is that, and even my SDRs, is that overload from local medium wave stations. If you've seen one of my previous videos where I'm using an SDR, I have to use a medium wave filter on the antenna connection to keep those local stations from bleeding into shortwave. This radio doesn't have that bleed-in problem. What else? I don't know. I think I've covered about everything. I could carefully try to turn the radio and show you the back of the radio. Let me try that. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to see if I've got enough slack here to turn the radio, show that I can show you the antenna connections. It's got many antenna connections. Okay, there's the, I'm going to take that off right now, so I can turn it more. There's the coax connector for the shortwave bands 2 through 8. I think that's what it says. Yes, that's what it says on there. And you have 1, 2, 3 more connections, wire type antennas. This one is for, shortwave 2 through 8 also, same as this one, but this is for a wire connection. This is for shortwave 1 and medium wave, and this one is for FM. So what that means, if you want to listen to medium wave and FM, you will not use this connector here. So you will have to have external antennas, other external antennas. So that's a little bit of a disadvantage. So that means if you want to listen to FM, you need an antenna connected here. If you want to listen to medium wave here, and then if you want to listen to shortwave 2 through 8, you can use either one of these. And this one, the medium wave, also is for shortwave band 1. This is your other medium wave antenna. So ferrite rod. It is kind of on a swivel here, so you can move it away from the radio. I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to break anything. This will operate on a 12 volt, for instance, your automobile battery. This is the AC plug over here. And on the bottom, as I mentioned before, are a couple of areas where you plug in batteries. I think it takes either 8 or 10 batteries. So if you put batteries in this thing, it's going to be heavy. And you can see in the back here, everything's nice and clean. The label here is nice and clean. The radio is really, really pristine. So I think I covered about everything. It's, like I say, I think it said 40 pounds. Maybe not. Feels a little lighter than 40 pounds. Get the glare, get away from the glare. I think I've covered all the switches that I didn't cover in detail in the previous one. Auxiliary input, recorder output, external speaker output. That's what these 3 jacks are for. I think that's it. I can say I really, really like this radio. It seems to be working fine, except for that switch, which takes a little jiggling, and then it's okay. I tried it yesterday. I tried it against my 800 right here. The 800 was using a different antenna. I can't remember. The 800 is connected to the MFJ 31-foot vertical antenna. And they were pulling signals in comparable. A little better on this one because it has a little better antenna. This one I'm hooked up, or was hooked up to my Slinky antenna, which, surprisingly enough, this Slinky antenna works pretty good. Especially since I don't have it configured very well. It's only maybe 15 feet in the air at the peak, and then it's kind of a V, one leg going northeast and one leg going northwest. So it's not the best setup at all, but it's working. I was amazed that Slinky antenna is working. I think that's about it. I think I've babbled enough. I really like this radio. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment, or better yet, send me an email to trrs73@gmail.com. I have another video I got from this gentleman that I'll be showing you also. That's it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.